Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Well, they're back. It is authors Becky Danielson and Carol Olson. We talked to them before about their book called Faithful Grandparenting, Practical Ideas for Connecting the Generations. Ladies, welcome, first of all.
Thank you. Glad
Good
to be
see you
back.
guys again. Yeah.
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, okay? One of us here is having their first grandchild. And let me say this, it's not me.
Oh, Dan, how wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
His oldest daughter, Bethany, and husband, David, and it's exciting. I can't remember how far along she is, but
She's due in August. Just found out it's going to be a boy, so
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we need you. We need your input.
This help me, please.
Timing. God knew that Dan was having a grandchild. There you go.
There you go. Faithful Grandparenting. That looks like a great book. We should ask them about that.
So give us kind of an update about what's going on. It's been out a while now. What has been the response, Becky?
We've had a really awesome response from people. We've been speaking. We've been doing a lot online. We have been really pleased with how God's using this book to really draw families together, pulling grandparents into more of an active role in the family. It's been really fun watching how it's being used in different ways. We had a question about a book club. So we've put a book club leader's guide and discussion questions online, and grandparents, once you start talking about your grandchildren, it explodes. People want to talk about their families. They want to talk about their kids. They want to talk about those grandkids. So it's been fun. It's been
Carol,
really
what
fun.
have you experienced so far? What have you heard?
Well, I agree. We have 8 grandchildren. 2 have graduated from college. 3 are still in high school. And it has been a journey that we have enjoyed. But I think what I've learned in the last since we talked to you last, we've done a lot of speaking and we've done a lot of talking with grandparents. And there's a lot of pain that's involved with grandchildren and with children. And a lot of it has to do with how culture is taking hold of some of our young people. So, Dan, I think when you have this grandchild, make sure that grandchild is well steeped in scripture, but also in your love for that child and your expectation for that child. I think too often we have a country that says, well, be what you want to be what you're supposed to be, without the idea that God has already determined you have a direction that you can follow, and trying to figure it out yourself only leads to a lot of pain for a lot of people.
Definitely. Good word.
That is so good. Carol Olson and Becky Danielson were talking about faithful grandparenting. And can Dan and Kathy is Dan's wife, can they spoil this child too much? Is that even a possibility?
I'll say no, but we'll see what the experts say.
No, I don't think you can spoil a child too much. Material things, perhaps, but love, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's not spoiling. You can encourage that child. In our book, we talk about it was the National Christian Foundation, and they say there are 3 ways. One is to help them with their spiritual character. You can help them financially, but the character building is really important. And sometimes that's very much left out. And that's something that a grandparent, because you're kind of removed, you're not in day-to-day combat or trying to get a child to do or not do something, you can really model what it means to have good character, and you can tell stories of your parents and your heritage, and you really can have a wonderful role in making that child a child of God, but also one that's very capable and willing to go out and be productive.
And I'm sure telling your grandchildren some of the stories about what your children did growing up that they probably haven't told their children yet, that would be a lot of fun.
Oops.
Well, some of those you probably better keep quiet.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll keep the arrests quiet.
Yeah,
And
all right,
okay, we'll do that. We're talking with Becky and Carol. Such a delight. So when you're communicating with grandchildren? Do you make it obvious? Hey, I'm sitting down here telling you the truth, or you just kind of, I think, like you said, modeling is just your lifestyle. Becky, how do you communicate to a grandchild those things that Carol was talking about, spiritual truths and character building, etc.?
You know, all the parenting classes that I've taught over the last 25, 30 years, I have told parents, children will not remember all the words you say, but they will remember all the things you do. So it's that modeling, it's that making good choices. It's talking about the Bible studies you're in. It's talking about why you've made the choice you've made. It's having a home that you pray before dinner, that you're immersed in the Bible, that they see exactly how you live this Christian life. And then you speak into why you live that Christian life, and just being really open with kids. It's like, you know what? Jesus has died for us. We are saved, and now we need to tell the world. Jesus has given us these great gifts and talents. Here's how we're going to use them to help others know him. It's not only walking the walk, but it's talking about the walk. How do we do this well, and why do we do it? In the end, to glorify God.
Carol, what would you add to that?
Oh, I think that's very good. I just have a little story about one of the grandparents who said, you know, I was with my grandchild and I was at a grocery store, and the clerk gave me back $10 extra. And she said, I thought about it for a while, and I said, no. And I told my granddaughter what had happened, and I gave the $10 back. And afterwards went out with the granddaughter and said, I could have gone out and said, hey, look at me. Aren't I lucky? I got this extra $10. But instead, I wanted that grandchild to know that being honest and that was the important thing. And so I thought that's a real practical idea. When you're asking to model how you live and model what you do, they watch very carefully what you're doing. And they love to watch grandparents, because grandparents are just kind of special people. They will be, especially until a child gets to be 8. Then at 8, friendships sort of go into the world. But you're still important, but not in the same way, not in the more active way.
Right. Yeah.
Carol Olson and Becky Danielson, authors of the book Faithful Grandparenting, Practical Ideas for Connecting the Generations. I love that. And you mentioned pain earlier from grandparents. I would imagine, and have heard stories, you know, over the years, have not experienced any of those, but stories where, you know, they want their grandchildren to follow Christ, and sadly their children are not on the same page. And I'm sure there's struggle there. How would you handle that? In that, but Becky, how would you handle that?
You know, we get that question a lot, Rick, from grandparents when we do speaking events, emails, conversations that we've had with grandparents. It's a really hard place to live when your children have walked away from faith and the grandchildren aren't being taught anything about Christ, about the Christian faith, reading the Bible, any of that. So we counsel grandparents to be on your knees for those kids, pray, but keep your life such that Jesus is the center of your life. Praying at meals, continuing to go to church, inviting them to go to church. If there's a special event at church, invite the whole family. Christmas time, Christmas is part of it. You play the Christian Christmas music. All of these things, you don't let go of your faith to try to respect them. Your faith stays solid. Respect and listen, but pray. That prayer piece, I think, is the biggest piece of all. Carol, what would you add to that?
Well, I think that you really have to understand that there are ways that you can transmit the idea of Christ to children. One of my favorite is to send the children maybe once a week a Bible quote. And that normally is not is accepted because there's not too much anxiety there. You're not discussing anything, but you're saying, hey, this is what I learned today. I want to send you some Bible verses that really help me. That's an easy way to do it. And also, Becky said that there are sometimes church camps and things like that. And, you know, grandparents or parents that don't have a faith, they also love to have their kids learn some good Christian ethics, and they also love to have a week off where the kids go to camp. So you can say, hey, there's a camp at our church. How about if we pay for our child to our grandchild to go to that camp? And so there's a way that you can do it without being upfront and in the face and disregarding the parents' thoughts or ideas. It's a tightrope. It's oftentimes we say that as a grandparent and as a mother-in-law, father-in-law, we're kind of sometimes walking on eggshells. We're trying to do it and maneuver. And Dan, each family is different and each way. And so you have to kind of blend into the family that you are given, that you have created, love them, listen to them, and not cause problems, but always be there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so good. Ladies, you're amazing. Thank you for doing what you do. We'd love to pick up with you in about 3 months or so. See what's going on. There might be a Faithful Grandparenting too. Who knows?
Part 2, yeah.
There you go. Faithful Grandparenting, practical ideas for connecting the generations. And Dan's got a website there you can go to. I'm sure
I don't. What's the website they can go to, Carol and Becky?
Go to faithfulgrandparenting.com.
Faithfulgrandparenting.com. Easy enough, just the same name as the book. So
I was going to say that's
that easy,
isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Becky, Carol, thank you so much. Bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.